Hi everybody, Chris here from Truly Holistic. Now in this video, we're going to talk about something that's been coming up a lot, and this is the word authenticity, which is really your essence, your true essence is to bring forth your uniqueness, okay? And every person that's watching and listening to this video, there is no one else like you out there, okay? And this reality, this universe, the core of you, your essence, your authenticity, is an energy signature that no other individual within this reality, within this universe, shares. Okay? And I'm really getting this drive to really, this is what Ascension's all about, is rediscovery of self, to realize, one, how unique you are. Okay, and for you to embody that uniqueness instead of the conformity that has been conditioned and programmed for you to be. Okay, which is stopping you in finding who you truly are, your true authentic self. Okay, so we're going to be talking about this in this video and what it all means. So now every reality, okay, we call this a generation here at Truly Holistic. We live in generation 3. That's this universe, this reality. We call it generation 3. And you have variants or versions of you that exists in other generation realities, universes, that do share your unique energy signature. That's why we call them selves. Okay, you. It's just versions of you that live in other realities. Now, each generation, this is what I got with dowsing this morning, this is what came through. Each generation, reality, universe, gives your essence or your authenticity hope to then calibrate reality. So the reality that you're experiencing for each variant, okay? Now, as I say, essence, and what we said at the start, is this unique energy signature, this authenticity, that, as I said, within that one reality, there's no one that has that. There are versions of you that do share that, but they exist on different realities, okay? And again, why we can call you a multi-dimensional being. Now, by enabling this essence, embody your uniqueness here, you're allowing your full potential, okay? What they mean by full potential is your ability to have greater knowing and understanding of what you're experiencing at the time, okay? Because a lot of people are going about life seeing a very minute aspect of a reality. You know, we've talked about this before. With our eyes, we see 0.0035% of the electromagnetic spectrum of light. Again, and that's only in this reality. There are other spectrums of frequency that exist on other realities. So you can see how little we really know, okay, and what we're actually observing. So if we're going about our life depending on what we're observing, we're kind of really seeing the effect to the cause, but the cause doesn't exist within that spectrum of what our eyes can see. But what we do is we see the effect, which is an observational plane of existence that we're seeing, but with very little knowing and understanding of why we're seeing it, why it's there. Okay, and that has led to a lot of problems. Okay, we're really the religion of what we call science will say this is actually what's happening, but really they're having a wild stab at the dark of what they think it is, or what it may represent. There's very little certainty with it. Okay, so which can become very much a problem, right? So with this full potential, because we have greater knowing, greater understanding, but we also have that reservoir of energy, which is our true authenticity, as infinite consciousness, which means infinite energy. when you really think about it, and what's the most common complaint at the human level, at the duality level, is a lack of energy, fatigue, tiredness, exhaustion, chronic fatigue syndrome, all these conditions that come from an aspect of it is tiredness and exhaustion, even though your true identity is infinite energy, infinite consciousness, which means a reservoir of energy that's infinite. There's no lack there at all. But as the human, we seem to exist with the mentality of lack. Okay, so you can see that's a connection problem, right, of your true authenticity, of truly who you are. Okay, so here at Truly Holistic, we try and teach you these principles of how you get connected, and that's what we do within the clearings work here at Truly Holistic. And we also teach you how to remain connected, which then enables that energy, an abundance of energy, an infinite reservoir of energy, because you embrace your unique identity as infinite consciousness. But we also teach you then how to use that energy to have a great experience here through your place of attention and how you use your intention. So this is what we're talking about in regards to full potential. But you need to know who you are first. That's the key aspect of this. Because once you have greater identity, therefore have greater knowing and understanding of this plane, which was an observational plane, so you put the cause with the effect, then your energy goes into, it's not going into an area of sabotage anymore. You're not leaking energy out. You're putting energy into areas that are investments that you'll get your energy back in some. Okay, so it's very important. So that's what we ideally want, right, in regards to that. But what about for the people that are being conditioned and programmed to our duality? And we can all put our hands up in regards to that, right? We were all brought into this. When we were born in this lifetime, in every lifetime, there's probably a small period of time in your life where you're full of imagination, which is consciousness. And we kind of use the word imagination as a kiddie thing, as a young child thing. And as adult, no, we use visualization and meditation, when really imagination is the same thing. We're just using different terms for the same thing. But as a child, we're full of imagination. We create on the spot. We don't need materialistic things, which is a consciousness connection, but that gets kind of programmed out of us, conditioned out of us, in regards to the whole duality thing. And then we lose our full potential because we embody this identity as the human, okay, not infinite consciousness. So for the individuals of that nature who have been conditioned and programmed by that, they are calibrating another intelligence that is not consciousness, okay? And that pathway is through what you know as the mind. Okay, the mind is a network to connect with artificial intelligence, which really is just the basis of saying foreign intelligence, right? It's not our innate intelligence. It's not our own consciousness. So those individuals may get experience glimpses of possibilities, but because of the conditioning, the programming, the mindset. Right, we want flow, right? Mindset, what's that? It's like set in stone, right? No flow, no flexibility. It's in our language. We're using this every day. You'll get these glimpses of possibility, consciousness creeping through, but immediately you'll try to translate what's coming through into what you've already learned, which is that conditioning and programming, okay, beforehand, which essentially dumbs everything down, because again, that's essentially what's happening in physics today, right? And even quantum physics, is they're getting all this new stuff that they're exposing themselves to, but they're trying to mold it and condition it to old theories like Einstein's theory. Maybe Einstein's theory was for the time, and maybe we need to shift away from that theory. We maybe need to embrace something new, but that's human nature. We like to hold on to things. We like to accumulate things. We like to mold things that are coming into the now and mold them with what was of the past, which is our downfall, okay? So let's use a few examples here. So let's look at healthcare in relevance to what we've just talked about. and modern medicine, right, with doctors and those sorts of things. And again, I never personally attack doctors because, again, they get in, a majority of them get into that workplace or workforce because they want to help, okay? It's more the system that's there, okay? And, you know, and they're part of duality, remember. So doctors just know what they've learned, what they've been taught, right? And so with doctors in modern medicine, right, they do a great job on a symptom level. Okay, we know that, right? And, you know, that they don't work on cures. They work on maintaining sickness, okay? Or, yeah, maintaining sickness. I wouldn't even say it's healthcare. Okay, so I'm going to use an analogy, and this is an analogy that's been coming forth a lot at the moment as well. And it doesn't matter at what level of existence or reality, it's there, this analogy. And that's of the tree. Okay, so when we look at a tree, what the makeup of a tree, you know, is the roots in the ground, right? Okay, we have the roots in the ground. We have the trunk of the tree that is levitating up, okay, so going against the forces of gravity. And this is a beautiful thing because we can also connect the tree with us because we're bipedal, right? We're as we get older, we're getting taller, right? To a certain age, right? Where we're growing, and full of that levitational force, which is going against the forces of gravity. Now, the laws of physics or laws of science will say that anything that goes against the forces of gravity will create friction, and out of friction, heat is occurred. But when we touch a tree, the trunk of a tree, there's no heat. So it's actually bypassing the laws of physics. Same with spring water, coming from an aquifer, coming up, levitating up to the surface. It's ice cold. It should be warm because of friction, but it's not. These are magical aspects that really a lot of people are not aware of, right? And when we're, as kids, we learn so much about gravity, but what about levity? Okay. So with the tree, roots, trunk of the tree, and then you have the branches coming off the trunk of the tree, and then they turn into little branches, and then we have the foliage, right? The leaves and the flowers, which is a seed that expresses itself. Okay, so doctors in modern medicine are great at trimming back the foliage of the tree, okay? And what we call that aspect of the tree is the expression of the tree, which is the symptom. The symptom is an expression. So when people come and do a session where they're truly holistic, and they bring all these symptoms of, you know, that they're worried about or they're concerned about, that is the expression of their body, okay? That doesn't necessarily mean the problem exists there. It's just an expression of it. Okay, so a lot of the times we won't specifically work exactly that in that area, but we'll go to the roots of the issue, knowing that if we work at the roots of the issue, the expression of it will change. Okay, and that's what the client wants, right? So doctors do really well trimming the foliage, but we know that because the roots are still in the ground of that tree, that foliage, even though we can trim it back, it will regrow, right? It will regrow. So what do we see with in modern medicine? They're not resolving the root issue of the problem. And a lot of people will call that a band-aid approach, right? They're just working on the symptoms. And they give you a pharmaceutical or medicine which blocks that expression. Doesn't mean the problem's gone, just means the expression of the problem has been silenced. Okay, and that's where that can be quite a problem. Okay, that you know, and kind of being kind of marketed to say, no, we're sorting that problem out. No, you're not. For example, blood pressure, high blood pressure. Put on high blood pressure medication, it lowers your blood pressure. But remember, the blood pressure is just an expression of something deeper going on. Okay? So that body, or you as a consciousness, that innate intelligence did the right thing to increase your blood pressure because it was a regulation that it needed to do for every aspect of your body to continually to function. But modern medicine will call that a problem. So you can see there's a difference there, right? So let's look at the example of chronic issues. Let's say someone's diagnosed with cancer. And they'll say, okay, you've got this period of time left. And if the client believes that, it's not the fact that the doctor was right, or it was the cancer that took them out. It was the belief that they thought they only had that period of time left that made them only have that period of time left. That's the power of our belief aspect. But when it comes to cancer, they'll go, okay, well, we can do chemotherapy, we can do radiation, or we can cut the tumor out, minimize the tumor, shrink it by using agents like chemotherapy. And they'll say, well, we can give you a bit more time left. But the problem with that is they may give them a bit more quantity of time, but because the toxic effect of the therapy, of the treatment, is so harsh that there's no quality of time. They've just got more time to suffer. There's a better way, right? Okay? So life is about moments, moment to moment, but quality, not quantity. Okay? So the difference, as I mentioned before, what we do here at Truly Holistic is we'll take into account your experience of why you've come to the session, what you want to work on. But we won't necessarily just work on it at that level, at the expression level. Again, that analogy of the tree. We'll go to the root of the issue. Because the thing is, the foliage, the leaves, the flowers of that tree is only there because the roots are in the ground. You pull that tree out, there's no foliage. There's no flowers that can be grown. When you look at the trunk of the tree, look at the branches of the tree, what they depend on, the root of the tree being fixed into the ground. It's its source of sustenance, right? Okay? So that's where we work at Truly Holistic, okay? And that's why it's an authentic practice. There's no hoodwinking you. There's no saying, hey, well, you know, we're going to do this to mask this and mask that, and say, hey, we're treating the problem. No. We are authentic. We're going to work at the root of the issue. We're not only going to do the healing work, do the clearings that are needed, but we're going to give you the information to continue that door that we've opened for you, to allow that door to remain open, and for you to walk through it, seeing your world in a completely different way that is putting the odds in your favor instead of against you. Okay? So, awareness of the simple things are the most important. Most important. It's the one, and usually they're the things that we kind of shrug off and don't think about. We think about these, we'll do this one healing with this person, or we'll go and get this treatment, or I'll take this supplement for a month and I'll be good for the rest of my life. It doesn't work that way. You're living an existence from moment to moment to moment to moment, where you have a choice of decision to be made every moment. That's where it counts. The root of everything lies there in the moment, from moment to moment. It's not about just correcting something that will take you a week or 2 weeks to do, and then you go back to the life that you were living beforehand. That led to the problem. Remember, your problem doesn't happen overnight. You created an existence of the way that you're living that placed all the odds in favor of you getting unwell, sick, having a health problem. Okay? Don't lie to yourself thinking that I just need to swallow a pill, I need to do a treatment option, I need to just work on this for a couple of weeks and I'm going to be fine. Or go to a healer and get one session and they're going to sort it out for me. It does not work that way. Okay? But I tell you why this is so empowering is because the root of everything lies in the moment, which is a choice and a decision, which you can turn that around, because you're changing you. And you're putting the energy into who? You, which is the ultimate investment put back into you. It's going to make your life a lot more interesting because you're going to learn greater understanding and knowing of the life that you're experiencing. Okay, and you're healing yourself. You're creating an environment for the body to heal. Okay, so, you know, as I say, this is the stuff that often gets brushed aside, which is the roots of everything. While the emphasis is always on the foliage, where there's the expression. Okay? So as we said before, you know, like medication given, right? Again, it's working on the foliage level, if we use the analogy of a tree, because people within the duality level of existence, which is the mind controlling you, not your innate intelligence, consciousness, embrace this band-aid approach because they see this issue or problem in the way they want to continue living. But the way they've been living has caused the problem. And they will never see that unless they have greater awareness. And awareness comes from consciousness. And as I said, what is your true nature? You are infinite consciousness. Okay? And it's living your true, authentic self from moment to moment. That is the key, okay? So all these issues is caused through a lack of awareness, which, as I say, is a lack of consciousness, so a lack of your authenticity. As remember, we were all in the same boat when we came into this life because we were conditioned by the mentality of lack, okay? And we keep going on thinking we lack, and we go out here looking and searching for the things we lack, when really we had it there all along. We just need to connect to it. Okay, we were hoodwinked. Okay, but we don't really want to emphasize on being hoodwinked. We just want to embrace who we truly are. I hope you've really enjoyed this video. Please comment below. Please like the video, please share the video, please subscribe to my channel, push the notification bell so you can be aware of when new videos come out. Till next time.